I'm Dawn, and this is the SMB Basket Trauma Clinic. Here, we specialize in Longaberger. It seems another patient is about to be admitted. In this Longaberger basket rescue, I am going to take a thrifted darning basket, and it's going to get flipped into French country keepsake decor. Joining me tonight is my co-host, Tracy, from Tracy Vanover Designs. You're going to find the link to her channel as well as this fabulous playlist in my description box below. Of course, I find the biggest stashes at my self-help Stage 2 resale shop, my favorite place to thrift. And check it out already. There's one. There's one Longaberger basket, $5, and there's proof of the pudding right there. Check it out. There's two more. That's a darning basket, and she's a little rough. She's only $4 though. And check out this guy. Yep, another one. Woohoo! Score. $4. Guess what? I'm going to get all three. None of them are collectibles. They're just your standard baskets. And I am going to flip this guy today. This is the darning basket, 1996. And yes, $4. And she's got a little bit of an issue here and there, but we're going to take care of all that. The first thing I want to do is get rid of the little leather handles. They're not in the best shape. And the design I have in mind, I don't want them. I don't need them. They got to go. So I am using my upholstery staple remover. And I am prying and I am prying. I don't want to break this basket. She is a little brittle. She's old. And yes, I know I can soak it in warm water. But then I have to wait for it to dry before I can, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to paint it. So I don't want all that. With a little persistence and some gentle prying, and I am eventually successful. Handles are gone. There are substances on this basket. I don't want to know what they are. I just know they need to come off. So it is kind of a waxy something, and I'm afraid my paint won't adhere. So I need to really make sure this basket is clean. I thrifted this little wood bowl from Goodwill for $1.49, and it is going to become part of what I'm making. For years, I have been picking up these little basket accent strips that, one, you could actually make a basket. This guy is like little extra stuff, so 50 cents and 50 cents. And this guy, just a roll of it sitting in a boot, and it was 25 cents. And this guy, another 50 cents. So for $1.75, I got all these basket making supplies. Now I am going to use some of the strips out of this little package. There are 3 different sizes of wood strips, and I'm going to use 2 of the different widths. And I will keep everything else, just like I kept the leather handles that I removed earlier. This is going to go around that bowl that I showed you earlier. Using the widest strips, I'm going to create 2 bands that are going to go around this bowl. And then I'm going to use the thinner strip, not the thinnest of them all, the middle size, to create a woven texture on this little basket. Because this is going to become part of my base of the structure I'm building to hold my darning basket. And I want there to be a similar feel to it. I don't want it to look like my little basket was just plunked on top of some random item. Once I establish my design, then I start cutting identical little pieces of this middle-sized strip. I need quite a few of them to go all the way around the perimeter of this little bowl. Once I have a plethora of these little strips cut, I start to glue them onto one of my larger bands. And I'm using a secondary little cut strip to measure, to space them out so that they will fit and almost interlock once this whole piece is put together. So I am gluing them staggered. I glue one, I space, I glue one, I space. And then I go the other direction. I fill in the backside. Those spaces that we left, I filled them in with the same little pieces, but I'm turning them backwards so they curve the opposite direction to allow me to insert that other piece of stripping. Now that I have all those small pieces glued, and I did use 3-in-1 glue to glue them, I am now using my wood glue to attach it to my bowl. I will get it on here as best I can, and I'm gonna clamp it and let it sit. And then we will continue from there, but it needs to be really nice and secure on this bowl before we can do anything else. Here we go, all ready to sit for the night. And ta-da! Clamps off, ready for the next step. And as I said, it's putting this next strip through there, and it's not going to be easy to do. I'm getting rid of the little cracked edge because I don't want this thing coming apart as I am weaving this thing in between those little wood teeth. My little George Washington basket, he got wood teeth. And as before, I am using wood glue and clamps to hold that second piece of wood stripping in place. As it's drying, I added another strip of the thin stuff to the bottom. It's the top of the bowl, but it's going to be the bottom of the actual structure. And I'm going to add a piece at the top so that it looks more like a woven basket. That's the illusion I am creating here. An illusion. Say hello to some more of my thrifted items. This thing I was going to use for something else. I already had it painted white, so now it just needs a little sanding, and then because it's gonna get painted, you know, Don Jones is gonna paint stuff. And then this little candlestick, also thrifted, is going to get a little sanding as well because she needs to hold her paint. That little disc I picked up for a dime, and I always, if I see solid wood candlesticks, I grab them. This one was 50 cents. Here she is, our little darning basket. I'm going to call her my darling basket. And it is time to, you know what we're going to do. Let's paint. We're going to paint. I am using a purdy brush, not pretty, purdy. It is one of my older purdies, and this is what a lot of professional house painters use. And I love this thing, especially if I'm painting trim. But I figured this old girl, she's big enough that she's going to fit in to some of those cracks and crevices and get me to the end of this paint job a little quicker than a teeny tiny brush. I will come back with a small brush and get into that really tiny crevices that I can't reach with my purdy. All of my other components need to be painted as well. And FYI, I am using Coffee House. It's the new white. Coffee House paint satin. It's the new white. Embrace it. It's beautiful. This color and what I'm making will coordinate with a couple other projects that I've done, and I will leave the links to those projects in the description box below. Now it's time to assemble all of my little elements. And I'm adding a little wood puck from Woodpile in the center of my candlestick just to take up space because I will be gluing this and screwing this, every bit of it, all of it together. So piece from piece to piece to piece, I am just going to glue a combination of hot glue, wood glue, and 3-in-1 to make this happen, making sure I'm centered, and I will combine all my elements. We all know my love and fascination for metal ribbon, and I came across it at Hobby Lobby again, and I told you I would let you know when it was there. Sadly, it is on clearance, so I picked up every roll they had, every darn roll, and some of it I'd never seen before. That real thick stuff, gorgeous. And I'm going to be using this thinner, real delicate metal ribbon as an embellishment on my basket. This is a photograph that I took when we were in Spain years ago. I had it printed on canvas in a custom size, and then I designed the frame around it and had my husband fabricate it out of repurposed vintage wood pieces. But now at that top, I want a little something more. So this is a thrifted item that I picked up for a couple of bucks, and it was broken when I bought it. If it's broken, that means nothing to me, because usually you can fix it. So I am going to glue this little piece together, and then I am going to glue it on to my frame. It was touch and go, but our patient pulled through. We had to do some serious cosmetic work, but Darling is ready for a whole new life. When Darling entered the clinic, she was dirty and worn, and keep in mind, not a collectible. But now she's been transformed with the help of the clinic into a beautiful French country display piece. How gorgeous is that? Would you ever have imagined that was a Longaberger basket? A basket that would in no way, shape, or form have fit into my dining room. But now it fits in like it was made for it. Oh, it was made for it. The woven base marries the piece together beautifully with that candlestick. And now you can see how my frame turned out. Didn't it turn out beautiful? It needed that. It needed a little something more. Just a little something. And I think it looks fabulous. I am really happy with the woven veneer that's on the base. And how about that ribbon, that metal ribbon? Now you know why I'm so passionately in love with that stuff. It is like the icing on the cake for any piece. Any piece that is French country, actually almost any decor style, you can add some of that beautiful ribbon. So pleased. So darn pleased. Not an old, scruffy basket any longer. Thanks again, Tracy, for co-hosting this edition of Longaberger Basket Rescue with me. You're going to find the link to her channel as well as the playlist in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, share it with your family and friends and anybody that loves French country decor or Longaberger baskets. You can follow me on Instagram, and don't forget to check out my shop on Etsy. Leave me a comment. I really love hearing from you and what you have to say. The best way to support my channel is to subscribe, so don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell. But for now, this is Dawn with Shabby Meets Bling. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.